Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Sherry. Although time-consuming, the budget is the blueprint that will tell you the direction of your property, including how much cash flow you can expect to receive monthly. If done properly, it will also tell you how much your tenants should be paying you for rent, both in terms of basic rent and operating costs. Oftentimes, at this time of the year, we have tenants approach us and say how happy they are with the building, and we don't need to put any funds into upgrading or maintaining the buildings. Other tenants will even offer to look after certain maintenance items, such as the HVAC. What landlords need to understand is that while this approach will definitely reduce the operating costs and keep tenants happy, the approach will ultimately hurt the landlord. What can happen is that a property is not proactively maintained, and then the tenant leaves at the end of the lease. The landlord now has a property on their hands that they can't lease up because it's in poor shape. They suffer the vacancy, and they're also required to inject capital to bring the property up to par. If the property had been maintained all along, this would not be the case. For commercial properties, if you have a net lease, the tenants pay for the cost to run the building. At the same time, landlords must walk the tightrope between making sure that their properties are well run, but also ensure that the tenants can still afford to pay the operating costs. If you have a December year-end, your property manager should have your budget ready for you to review within the next few weeks. If not, you should be following up with them to determine what's holding it up. For landlords that have larger regional or national tenants, the revised rent notices should be sent to the tenants in plenty of time before the year end so that there's going to be no hold-up with their internal accounting departments, and you as the landlord will get your rent on time. The property manager should compare costs on an item-by-item basis with other competing buildings. There are many resources for comparison, and your property manager should be able to advise you on this. Other than the usual budgeted items, such as janitorial or landscaping, some unusual things that you might want to consider are the cost of a leasing agent, annual roof inspections, insurance appraisals versus evaluation appraisal, tax assessment reviews, capital projects, amortization scheduling, infrared heat scans and vault servicing, roof anchor inspections, and indoor air quality testing. It's very important that the landlord and the property manager be on the same page with regard to the property. The budget can be a point of connection between the owner and the property manager. If your property manager has not called and invited you on a walkthrough of your property with an eye to looking at the budget, you should call them and arrange to meet. This is Rod Frem for Radio Real Estate.